All aircraft are assigned a tail number, with different standards for each country. In the United States, it's also called an N number. Airlines have established numbering conventions to denote aircraft types, and Southwest Airlines is no different. The Dallas-based carrier runs a fleet of Boeing 737s, and by 2030, will have operated nearly half of the 13 major series of that model. For the United States registries, tail numbers include the letter N or November for radio transmissions, followed by up to 5 digits, and sometimes ending with 1 or 2 letters. Southwest Airlines began in 1967 as Air Southwest, launching passenger service in 1971 with Boeing 737-200s. These aircraft typically carry 2-digit tail numbers, followed by the code SW or Sierra Whiskey, clearly an abbreviation of the airline's name. They retired the 200 in 2005 after operating more than 50 of the type, and while the airline briefly leased a handful of 727s, the 737 has always been the main vehicle. By the time the 300 series came along in 1984, Southwest began their 3-digit tails, beginning with the number 3, later moving on to the number 6 by the 1990s. The 300 was retired in 2017 after operating 195 of the type. In 1990, Southwest introduced a fleet of 25 500s numbered 501 to 528, which were retired by 2016. But 5 numbered tails re-entered the chat later on down the line. Boeing launched the 737 Next Generation in 1993, where the 700 served as the muse for this new family. Built off the 300 series, the 700 entered service with Southwest in 1997, and naturally, those tails started with the number 7. Airlines label their aircraft based on availability, whereas Southwest also leaned on LV or Lima Victor tail codes for their love slogan, SA or Sierra Alpha for the full name of the airline, and also the initials of various team members and departments like HK Hotel Kilo for the legendary Herb Kelleher, or QC Quebec Charlie for quality control. By 2001, the 700 took on tail numbers beginning with 4, and Southwest's official IATA code, WN, or Whiskey November, became the primary tail code until 2011, when they received their last new aircraft of the type. In that time, the 700 saw tails beginning with 2 in early 2005, moving on to 9 by late 2007. Many airlines operate a fleet of aircraft that are both purchased and leased, new and secondhand. As such, 5 tails made their way back to Southwest Airlines in the form of used aircraft, numbered 550 to 570, delivered between 2007 and 2014. In 2011, the airline bought Atlanta-based AirTran Airways, acquiring all 52 of those 700s while setting their sights on their biggest catch yet. Southwest Airlines took delivery of their first 737-800 in the spring of 2012, where alongside their newly acquired 700s, they introduced a further revised numbering system. Today, their N numbers now consist of 4 digits and an available letter, where the AirTran 700s begin with 77 and other imports begin with 78. The 800 allowed Southwest to begin ETOPS service. Extended range twin-engine operation performance standards essentially allow for longer flights within their network, especially over water, with respect to the ability to fly on one engine to a diversion airport. These all start with 83, ranging from 8301, also known as Warrior 1, their very first 800, to 8329. Standard 800s begin with 85 and 86, except for one aircraft, 500WR. Named for William Rogers, the airline's representative at Boeing, and his 500th aircraft for them. Delivered in 2014, it was repainted in the Freedom 1 livery in 2021 to mark the airline's 50th anniversary and to honor our veterans. The 737-800 as a product evolved into the MAX 8 as Boeing's premier narrow-body offering. Southwest Airlines introduced this existing type in 2017, where ETOPS models start with 87 and standard models start with 88, 89, and now 9,000. There's also a fleet of 11 MAX 8s originally built for Indian carrier SpiceJet, number 1801 to 1811. 4-digit tails are the future for Southwest Airlines, where the MAX 7 will start with 72 and 73. The handful of aircraft that are built are currently parked and will be delivered as soon as the type receives FAA certification.